Welcome to Film Buff Bros, and today we're going to be discussing survival movies with a man versus nature theme. Before we dive into it, guys, please smash that subscribe button because our survival depends on it. And we upload one video every week, so smash that subscribe button so you don't miss any episodes. And make sure you guys watch to the end of the video to find out which movies we'll be doing next. So now let's check out some survival movies.
Alright, so my third choice is Castaway. I really like the character arc of Tom Hanks' character. I like how he goes from a very talkative, very busy, extroverted workaholic surrounded by technology, and the efficient and precise management of time plays a really important role in his life before he's stranded on the island. Then upon being stranded on the island, he's alone, he's in virtual silence without any technology, and a lot of free time. I like that there's nearly no scoring at all. I think that the lack of music makes the movie feel more realistic. It made me focus more on Tom Hanks' acting and feel more empathetic for his character's dire situation. Lastly, I love the cinematography. There's a wide variety of shot framing, camera angles, and shot durations, which make the movie really stimulating and captivating to watch. Okay, so my second choice is Alive. The fact that this movie is a true story makes it very intriguing, and that the survivors of the plane crash had to resort to cannibalism in order to live makes the movie all the more provocative. I think that when most people watch the movie or even hear about the movie, they're curious and wonder what they would do in those circumstances. Also, the ensemble cast gives the audience a wide range of personalities to relate to and empathize with. The scoring is pretty nice too. The music is orchestral, and even though there's a lot of it, I think it's used appropriately in the right moments. Finally, I think the movie is really well paced, especially for a 72-day ordeal set in one location. Alright, so our final pick is Arctic. I really like the dynamic between the co-pilot of the crashed helicopter and the main character. He obviously feels guilt for her situation because he kind of got her into the mess by flagging down the helicopter. So he has this burden to try to save her life because she tried to save his life. Also, I think that she is symbolic of his fate. I think that when he sees her, he sees what may happen to him in the future if he stays in this environment. Another aspect I really like is that how tension is built with this push-pull kind of thing that's going on between various scenes. For example, the helicopter sighting, and then the negative part is the helicopter crashing, and then there's finding the map and food, which is a positive, but then he has the burden of taking care of the co-pilot. But then he gets to hug the co-pilot because he hasn't had human contact in a long time, but he also feels guilt for the helicopter crash. The next positive thing is his mission to take both of them to the station so that they can survive. Then there's a negative event that happens, in that the map is incorrect and he finds that his path needs to be adjusted. This back and forth continues throughout the whole movie and makes it very suspenseful and exciting.
And finally, the Film Buff brothers agree on a film, which is this Arctic film to come out 2018, directed by Joe Penna, first-time filmmaker. I went into it blind, not knowing what to expect. Mads Mikkelsen does a great job. He holds the film, he sells the performance. He's got a very interesting face. There's a lot going on. He can tell you so much without saying anything just with his face. Cinematography was fantastic, filmed in Iceland. It was amazing to see. And yeah, I really liked all the plot lines, like he said, the push and pull, and a lot of choices. It's almost like choose your own adventure. And I really liked the score as well. It was subtle, it sort of underpins the film. And I also thought the pacing and editing were solid. It's not the fastest paced movie, but for a survival film, I think it's more intended to do a slow burn. For my number 2 pick, I've chosen The Revenant from 2015, directed by Alejandro Giornatu. Even though I'd say this is probably one of DiCaprio's best performances, I think that Tom Hardy actually steals the movie from him. A lot of interesting things about the film. It was shot during the magic hour. It was shot on location in Calgary and Argentina, I believe. Score is beautiful, ethereal, very atmospheric. Yeah, the cinematography is just breathtaking. And it's just got great themes in the plot, such as man versus nature, and a great ending as well, which sort of has a little bit of resolution to it. So my favorite survival film is 1990 Lord of the Flies, directed by Harry Hook. I really like how this film comes from the kids' point of view rather than the adults. It's based off the famous novel by William Golding, but it is a lot less like the book than the '63 film version. There's multiple themes in this film, such as mob mentality, loss of innocence, man versus nature, civilization versus savagery, illusion versus reality, and good versus evil. It has biblical undertones to it as well, where it's almost like the Garden of Eden, and these kids have a fresh start, but there's no law, it's just freedom, so they have this conch, which acts as the law, but immediately they stop using it, which causes the chaos. I thought most of the acting was good from the kids, especially Balt Sargetti, the main character. I also think it's cool that it's all boys and no girls, so you have this aggression and this pent-up claustrophobia that permeates throughout the whole film. finally, I really like how there's two perspectives. There's Ralph, who believes and has hope that they're going to get rescued, so he acts accordingly. And then there's Jack, the opposite, who believes they'll never get rescued and again acts accordingly. And in my opinion, even though this film was made more than 30 years ago, it stood the test of time.
Alright guys, so that concludes our review of our top survival films.
Alright, so stay tuned next week where we're going to be reviewing horror movies. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button because you're the reason we make these videos. Hasta la vista, baby!